Ladies and gentlemen, you say in professional sports, perception is everything. Now, Kate Smith was the anthem singer for the Philadelphia Flyers for years, the Good Luck Charm, just like Roger Doucette was the Good Luck Charm for Team Canada and Team Russia, because he wrote the lyrics to the Russian national anthem. But in 2019, it came out that Kate Smith, the early part of her career, had done a couple of culturally inappropriate songs in the early part of his career, and as a result, she was basically censored. Her statue was taken down in front of the Philadelphia Arena, where most of her representative what do you call it, victories were presented. Now, her rendition of "God Bless America" for many people is the iconic one. And the when people researched, like I said, the early part of her career, there were two songs that were considered inappropriate even for that era. But Smith was a known person who always preached racial tolerance. But today we're not going to be talking about that. We'll talk about how, in the words of my dear departed godfather Leonard Levine, it ain't a Flyers game until a fat lady sings. Of course, Kate Smith. Kate Smith, I think at one point, ladies and gentlemen, she was extremely big. I think she was 235 to 250 pounds at 5'10". Now, when the Flyers ice hockey team started playing Smith's rendition of "God Bless America" before their game on December 11, 1969, an unusual part of her career began. The Flyers public address announcer had noticed that people would not pay attention or would show disdain for the Star Spangled Banner played before games due to tensions caused by the Vietnam War, and he decided to use Smith's rendition of "God Bless America" instead, probably her most famous song. The crowd responded more favorably to this recording after the Flyers won the game, decided by the team that the song would use as an alternative to the Star Spangled Banner, but only for certain important games. Now, at the Flyers' home opener against the Maple Leafs on October 11, 1973, Smith made a surprise appearance and performed the song in person and received a tremendous reception. The Flyers won that game by a 2-0 score. She again performed the song at the Spectrum in front of a capacity crowd of 17,007 before Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals on May 1974 against the Bruins. Before this game, Smith had a Flyer record of 36-3-1. 36 wins, 3 losses, 1 ties. After a performance in keeping with the Flyers' rendition of the Broad Street Bullies, Smith mimicked a knockout punch. Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr and center Phyllis Mazzito infamously tried to jinx the Flyers' good luck charm by shaking her hand after a performance. Yet the Flyers won their first of 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups, winning that playoff series against the Bruins 4-2, with goalie Bernie Perron shutting the Bruins out 1-0 in the contests. Now, Smith also performed live at the Flyers' home game on May 13, 1975, before Game 7 of Stanley Cup semifinals against the Islanders. After a performance, Islanders captain Ed Westfall presented Smith with a bouquet of flowers as each member of the Islanders lined up to shake her hand. Nonetheless, the Flyers won the game 4-1. On May 16, 1976, Smith made one of her final public performances before Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals when the Flyers lost to the Habs 5-3 and was swept in the series. She was quite sick with diabetes at the time too, and I think some said she went into a coma as well. She made her final appearance for public performance on May 23, 1985 before Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals when the Flyers lost the Oilers 3-1 and lost the series in 5 games. Now, the Flyers' record when "God Bless America" was played or sung by Smith in person stood at 129-5 as of April 20th, 2016. Smith and her song remain a special part of Flyers history. In 1987, the team erected a statue of Smith outside the Spectrum, the arena at the time, in her memory. Again, however, the statue was later covered and then removed in April 2019 due to criticism of lyrics in some of her earlier songs that were perceived as racist. Until that time, the Flyers still showed a video of her singing "God Bless America" in lieu of the Star Spangled Banner for good luck before important games. The video of Smith's performance was later accompanied by Lauren Hart, the daughter of late Hockey Hall of Fame broadcaster Gene Hart, who was a longtime voice of the Flyers and the anthem singer for the Flyers. Before games, whenever God Bless America was performed, Lou Nolan, the public address announcer for Flyers at Wells Fargo Center, would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats and salute our flags, and welcome the number one ranked anthemist in the NHL, Lauren Hart, as she sings God Bless America, accompanied by the great Kate Smith." Now, Smith's plump finger made an occasional object of derision. However, late in her career, Flyers hockey fans said about her appearance before games, "It ain't begun until the fat lady sings." Smith again was 5'10", 235 at the age of 30. She titled her 38th autobiography, "Living in a Great Big Way." Now, Smith was the Grand Marshal of the 76 Tournament Rose Parade in Pasadena and sang God Bless America, the national anthem, before the Rose Bowl, a UCLA victory over Ohio State. Now, she never married and rented several apartments in Manhattan during a long career. She had a home in Arlington, Virginia, and kept her summer home on a small island in Lake Placid, New York. Flyer fans wouldn't be happy about that. Now, in later years, again, she was impaired by diabetes. In 76, she suffered brain damage after slipping in a diabetic coma. After she emerged from the coma, her family helped her move in 79 to Raleigh. In January 86, Smith's right leg was amputated due to poor circulation caused by diabetes. 5 months later, she underwent a mastectomy. Now, on June 17th, 86, Smith died of respiratory arrest at Raleigh Community Hospital in Raleigh at the age of 79. Now, Patricia Castledine was Smith's live-in nurse until Smith's death. Castledine became the president of the Kate Smith fan club after Smith's death, continued to hold that post until her own passing in 2021. Now, for over a year following her death, Smith's remains were stored in the vault at St. Agnes Cemetery in Lake Placid, while officials of St. Agnes Church and the singer's executor engaged in dispute over Smith's request to be buried in a mausoleum on the cemetery's grounds. Her private burial service was held on November 14th, 87. Now, the idea about Kate Smith, why she was so much a sensation, because Philadelphia obviously, all the aspects, especially 1976, the 200th anniversary of the States, she became so iconic with the Flyers. And it's kind of ironic, ladies and gentlemen, and this is no disregard, the majority of the players on the Flyers were Canadian. So when she's saying God Bless America, I think it was more of a reflection that the team was, U.S. fans, but Canadian in presentation. But ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you this. My godfather, Leonard Levine, is looking down and said, I love you, Jeffrey, but stop bragging up the Flyers. I hate to tell you, Ken Dryden's book, The Game, you need an honored opponent. And that's what the Boston Bruins and the Islanders and the Flyers and maybe the Maple Leafs a little bit were to the Montreal Canadiens. You're only good as your opponent. And anybody could beat the Flyers, they had to be good. It's kind of ironic that some of the cups that Edmonton won were beating the later version of the Flyers. But for me, the key Flyers were when Perron came back, even dating back to 72, 73, up until 1980, where, all the key players were traded. McClish left and Kinderchuk and everybody else, Lonsbury. But Kate Smith, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the 1976 tape, and the spectrum was like, it wasn't lit like the Montreal Forum, it was kind of dark. So it was kind of like they had their singer, they had their players, and they had the Broad Street Bullies, and, it only took there was only one team could beat them, Montreal Canadiens, and he went into their barn and defeated them the only way he knew how, by playing Flyer hockey better than the Flyers did. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Philadelphia Flyers tributes, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, God Bless America is for everybody. Don't forget to sing the song, because, despite all its faults, the United States has done a lot for the world. So we got to salute them. Every brother or sister got their faults. And here in Canada, we love you guys anyway. Even though we only have a two-party system, you can party with us, non-politically anytime. Have a good one. Bye.